How are you doing? I'm Ralfy here, Ralfy Customs. We're back on with our Coles Inex Sportster. We're going to get these pillboxes finished. Pillboxes finished. Yeah. So if you follow along, you'll see that we've made all of the materials. We've made the plates, we've made the end caps, we've got the filling bits, we've got the covers roughed out, and we've got this set up ready to rock and roll. We're going to TIG weld. We're going to TIG weld the ends in. We're going to tack these in with a TIG, both ends. We're going to put the filler bit in, and we're going to weld them up and clean them up. So let's get on with that. Righto, with those tucked in, we can now, look at these bits and how well they're going to fit. I think I've put them a bit fucking long, so we'll get those trimmed up so they fit in. We'll have a measure and we'll get these trimmed up to length. Not before I've done the other one. I'll get this one together, like you've just seen, get the ends on, and then I'll measure my doodahs, trim them up and get them tacked in place just like the ends are. Right, with these pieces marked to length to fill those gaps, we're just going to use an end mill to work our way through, and we can drop the quill down a bit, make sure it's locked off, and wind into the tool like so, and then you can just give it a few whizzy-wazzy woos, and I'm going to just go past that line, just erase the line as I'm machining now, and that should give us acceptable fit. So we've got that deburred and degreased, ready to fit. Just whack the oil. I'm reaching around here, so it's a bit awkward. Bear with. That's one done. Here's the other one. So there's the other one. Make sure my parallels aren't poking out, because we don't want to machine any parallels. Yeah, you do, Ray. That wouldn't be good. Put that off out of the way. And come again. Thank you. Come again. We can take quite a chunk off with the old roughing end mill. And it's a welded joint like, so we're not too worried about finish. Bang. Just touch on that line and machine it away. Only takes a minute, and once these are cleaned up, this should be a lovely fit. So there's one trimmed up, look, and then we just put a straight edge across to make sure that it sits flush with these edges. That's flush. Got the old third hand on, and we'll get a few tacks on. We'll double check it as we go. A couple of tacks on the bottom, and then we'll alter the top if needs be to make it nice and flush. Do the same with the other side, and then that'll be all tacked up and ready to get some welding done. Righto, so that is Yeah, there's a little lift there, not quite square there. Don't matter, it's only got to fit itself. That's those all tacked up. I will find a comfy spot and get you in a suitable spot, and probably do a little bit of fast forwarding through me struggling with the TIG to weld them up.
Don't forget folks, our Fuckstock stickers are now available in our Etsy store, link in the description below. Fuckstock, you know it makes sense.
Okie fucking dokie, so that's that welded up and fucking red hot. And here's one I'll give a quick trip to the fucking belt sander and give it a quick clean up. Now I'm not bothered about making this look like it's been CNC'd out of one billet of fucking steel. If that was the look that I wanted, then I'd find someone who could do that for me. In fact, I know someone who can do that for me, and I'd get some made. This industrial look is exactly what we're after. That's going to go really fucking well. We've put a little bit of weld down the inside there. We've welded all the way around and we'll give it a sand up. We've flushed the top off as well on the belt sander, so it will take the covers nicely. Yeah, and then we can move forward. I'm going to let this one cool down a minute because it's still fucking hotter than a pistol. And as soon as it does, we'll treat that to a few minutes on the belt sander. And then we'll look at what's next on the agenda. Righto, so with those done, with those cleaned up, welded and cleaned up, we now need to make the covers. So here's how I do it. I lay that on where it needs to be. Get that nice and central. And then I'm going to scribe round this end, yeah, both ends. That'll show me where this comes. Then we can put a small section of that tube on and mark inside, so we know where this inside edge comes, yeah. And from there we can split this tube and we can TIG weld a couple of bits off each side, like obviously a couple of bits. We can TIG weld these on and they will go against the sides and take the grub screw that holds the end cap on. And I'm can't help but feel that I'm not filming this in the best fucking light. There you go. So what I'll do, I'll get these split, I'll get them marked, and I'll show you what I mean. Right, so what we've done, we've got those bits of tube and we've cut them at an angle and made these little collars, if you like, these collets, they look like, don't they? Give them a bit of a radius on the top edge, made sure they're all burr free. And I've also spread them, I've had them in the vise and squashed them. Spread them a little bit so that they fit this tube nicely. Yeah, they're going to go in there, and that will retain the covers that we're making. So we'll get the bit of flat. This is how we position it. It's a bit of a faff light. We get the bit of flat and we line the pillbox up with it and scribe round it. Then we can take that off and get a sample of tube and line that up with the mark we've just made and then scribe round the inside. So now we can see where the inside of that cover comes, and we can position those collets with a square just on that line. It don't matter if they're slightly in a bit, you know, because there's going to be a grub screw each side holding them in place. What we don't want is them to be too tight so you can't get the fucking thing on and off. And this is always a bit fiddly. So what I'll do, you've probably seen enough welding, is get Mrs. Tiggywinkle on the job and put a couple of welds on there. Do the same with the other side, and then we can look at fixing them, putting the adjuster, the chain adjuster bolts in, making some inserts for that, and then shaping them covers, and we'll be there. Fucking hell, I got a right waffle on that last segment, didn't I? Right, so one of these is red hot and the other one's not. That's the knot. There they are, look, kicked in place, and that lets us drop that on. Yeah, and there's a bit of wiggle room, but they line up pretty good here. What I'll do now, bastard, that is hot. I'll use the cold one to give my example. What I'll do now is mark these out for the spindle adjuster. There's going to be an M8 thread, a little boss there with an M8 thread in, and then there's grub screws either side with M6 threading that locates on them tabs through there. So what I tend to do is mark these up for drilling and drill them, and then clamp them together, put them together, hold them where I want them to be, and take them over to the pillar drill and drill through there, like. If that makes sense. Right, I thought I'd just quickly show how I mark these. Look, we're marked and centre dotted, ready for the adjusters and the grub screws. And it's really fucking hard to measure a mark because it's on a curve and all the rest of it. So we just use a surface gauge. Yeah, we just set this to 25, which is half of the size of that, and then we scribe a line. Sorry, we scribe a line, flip it, scribe a line again, and then we set it at the height for this one, do the line. Same with the grub screws, do the line, and it gives us a lovely precise way of marking it out. The tolerances are massive, like, you know, it's not the most precision part that we're ever going to make, but as someone say, we're not making fucking, oh, that's one of mine, don't worry about that. Yeah, here we go, forget I said that, let's move forward. Right, now we're starting to pair these up, which is what I was waffling shit about. We need to make sure B's with B and A's with A, because these caps will not be interchangeable. When I've decided which one's left and right, I will stamp that inside, or I'll centre punch an L and an R in the corresponding ones. So we're over to the mighty Meddings now, which we need to set up. We'll get that nice and squared up, not like that, in the vise, and we'll drill these grub screw holes out to 5mm to take an M6 thread, and we'll drill the adjuster ones out at 6/8 to take an 8mm thread. So I'll get set up and get on. Righto, here we are at the mighty Meddings. We're going to take this out to 5mm. Nice and steady away. Little drop a loop. Right, that's one bad boy. Then we'll flip it like so, and we'll use our engineer square to make sure that that's all fucking square. Yeah, and then go again with the 5. This needs opening out once we've done this. We'll have to do that. Okay, on to the next one. And there she blows, Captain. We'll drill that out to 6.8, ready to take the M8 thread, and we'll do the other one, and you can join me over at the bench. That were a fucking close one. We nearly dropped a bollock then. It's me fucking over mentioning about keeping them a max pair with these covers. What I need to do, now I've drilled through there, I need to line that cover up, clamp it like I have in the vise, and then just give it a start with the grub screw to bite into. You could drill it right through. I mean, it won't hurt. We're not going to thread that part, so it's still put up against it, which is absolutely fine. So keep it together in the right place, spin it over, pop it back in, and just give yourself a dimple for the grub screw to locate in. There we go. I mean, I won't want to do that after I've threaded it, because there's the danger of fucking the thread up in there. So, happy days. Right now. On we go. So we'll give that a little bit of a countersink and use some Hankstiffers, not sponsored. A little drop of pink lube on. We'll take this out to M6. Nice and steady. Nice and square. We don't want it to go in quar. We'll keep it square. Don't want it wonky, do we? So, machine tap, we can just wind it in, Dad. It clears its own dwarf, if you're watching. So, my dad always asks about this. He sees me do it on the lathe, run a fucking tap in, and he's like, how's that work? When I used to do it, we used to have to go in 3/4 or a turn and then back it out to break the chips, otherwise it snotted up and snapped the tap off in the hole. I explained about spiral fluted fucking taps, how they clear. It's mostly from machining, like I can CNC fucking help develop that kind of thing, because they ain't got time for that fucking in and out shit, have they? They're going full ammo. Look, I've just done it then, talking about it. We don't need to. We can just take that in. Like fucking so. I didn't countersink that because I'm waffling. I'll countersink it now. Give that a quick touch. Give that a quick touch. Yeah. And now in with the M8. Same story. We're actually going to make an insert. Well, a weld-on chat to thicken that up where the M8 goes. I'm not faithed in the material there. There's not enough beef in it to hold a wheel adjuster and not fuck its thread up. So we're going to make a little chat soon. That'll be next on the agenda. Yeah, there we go. So they're tapped out, ready to take the grub screw and the wheel adjuster. We're going to make a little boss that goes on there. Which one's this? Letter A. So, well, is that the juggler? Now we've got dimples in these to take the grub screws. So that'll clamp on there with the grub screw. All that's left is that, like I've just said, and then we need to shape these up, which is just grinding and fucking sanding, ain't it? And by the power of television and fast forwarded video and audio, fucking hell that's hot, and audio, we have these now with the knobby ends. Look, I've ground off the end of the grub screw. I'm sure it's deep enough to get out, so we'll be alright. I would replace those for stainless steel on the finished application. Now all that's left is these wheel adjuster chats. The good bastard. It didn't cool down, did it? In that 10 seconds. Wheel adjuster chats. 10mm long, M8 thread, 16mm diameter. We've got a bit of stock chucked up already. It's the right size. We'll polish it with a bit of Dick Emery, drill and tap it, pot it off. Happy days. Righto, let's crack the old gal up. Oh, we're not running. We have an issue, bear with. Yeah, press the reset button, you dickhead. 3-phase trips when I put the TIG on mostly. It does the reset on this and I always forget. Right, first things first. Get this face off. Face off. There's a bit too much sticking out. I only want 10mm off, but I want to get it cleaned up nice, so I may as well face that while I've got it. And now in with a bit of Dick Emery, just to give it a polish. I'll probably do with a finer bit, to be fair, but let's have a look at finish. Oh no, that's a fucking lovely about it. Right, change this tool in now to the chamfer tool. Knock a chamfer on there. This can be the pretty end. And then we'll get it drilled and tapped. As always, drop a lube on the old centre drill and just chip away at that. Come on, baby. Till we get onto the taper. There we go. Happy days. Switch that out to a 6.8. Again, proper lube. Alright, we'll take that in, line up the flutes with the end of the job, line up 10mm on my graduation. Yeah. So each one's 10mm, that gives us 20mm, 23mm with a cut. I usually go about 30mm for a tap, so if I go 30mm, chances are we'll get them both out. Maybe go 35. We'll get them both out at the same fucking job light without having to drill and tap it again. Not that it makes much difference. Right, I'll get that drilled and you can join me on stage fucking 3 or 4 or whatever it is. Which is shame for time, man. Make the old pretty. More like a pretty. Oh, yeah, we'll not go there, eh? Right, a bit more please. Thank you. That should do. Lovely. Let's get a tap set up and do that tapping that blows my dad's mind. Happy days. Rightio there. So, we're in with the old M8 machine tap. Let's just move you. Hold on. Scream if you want to go faster. There you go. How's that fucker? Right, we've slowed everything down and we send it. Oh, I've got. This is new. This collet holder, regular readers will know that I have a fucking problem with that slipping. And it's a right pain, there we go, tap started spinning. It's a right pain in the, just reverse that out. And have another go, see if I can get a little bit more. Yeah, that'll do. Don't take the piss, Ralfy. I have a problem with this spinning in the fucking tailstock. So, we've had a new one. And the old one's been relegated, not relegated, but been moved over to the Atlas to be used as a collet holder on a drawbar should I desire. Right, everything's back, everything's fast. We'll get that blown out and now we'll part it off. Righto, parting tool in, come on, there it is, look. We'll touch that off on there, you're right in my fucking way, we'll put you there. Touch that off on there. Zero my digital readout and move along. We want 10 plus the tool's 13.25 because we're going to have a 10th skim off the end. Then we lock our carriage off camera, so keep talking and send it. Come on, baby. It's your blows, Captain. I'm trying not to drop it, but I think we might. Oh, there you go, look. I think we might plunk. Right, what I will do is chamfer that, check the depth of the thread and part it off. And then it just leaves the back edge to face up. Right, so they're made, look. Cleaned up, degreased, deburred, fucking fitted. The bolts come through. The bolts come through in the fucking dark, trust me. Right, we'll get a couple of stitches of TIG on. We don't need to go mad. Bit top and bottom, bit sides. Yeah, we'll probably go here. And they will be fucking done. Hallelujah, brothers and sisters. Hey, no you fucking bastard. Who knew? Hey, who'd have known that'd be hard? How many times in this video have I picked something up and gone, fucking hell, that's hot. Anyway, there we have it, look. That's how they're going to sit on the bike. That way, dickhead. That's how they're going to sit on the bike. Ain't it? So we can drive the wheel back with that M8. Get a nice bolt in there. Nice covers are on. Give everything a good clean up. That is now ready. They are both fucking hot. But they are ready to have a swinging arm made around them. So follow along. I don't know if I'm going to drop straight on it next up. I've got a couple of bits to fuck about. I know Carl watches, so don't worry. Oh, don't worry, he's one of the best people I've ever done any work for. Bless him. So there you go. That's Handmade, ready to make a swing arm around, like I've just said. It just leaves me, as always, to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. Check out the bump in the description below. Consider giving me a sub. It makes a massive difference. And I will catch you all on the next one. Big love, everyone. See you soon.